The political crisis in Rivers State appears set for temporary solution after the parties involved signed a peace deal at a meeting held at the presidential villa Abuja on Monday. This meeting was said to have been called by President Bola Tinubu and was attended by the Governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, his predecessor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria's capital, Nyesom Wike, former Governor of Rivers State, Peter Odili. We have the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Professor Ngozi Odu. We have leaders of the Rivers State Legislature, the chairman of the PDP in Rivers State, as well as other political leaders, including the state lawmakers loyal to Nyesom Wike, who were at that meeting. And those lawmakers, if you remember, decamped from the All Progressives Congress, the APC, to the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. Let's look at the resolutions or directives, as they were called, from that meeting in a document circulated last night. Remember, we were to have a state legislator, but he wasn't here because he was in that meeting. Number one, all matters instituted in the courts by Governor Nyesom Wike, of Rivers State and his team in respect of the political crisis in Rivers State shall be withdrawn, is what we're seeing there. The second one, all impeachment proceedings initiated against the Governor of Rivers State by the Rivers State House of Assembly should be dropped immediately. The third one, the leadership of the Rivers State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Amehule, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who decamped or resigned from the PDP. The next one, the remunerations and the benefits of all members of the Rivers State House of Assembly and their staff must be reinstated immediately, and the Governor of Rivers State shall henceforth not interfere with the full funding of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Number 5, as you can see on your screen, the Rivers State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct their legislative business without interference and or hindrance from the executive arm of government. That's the state government. Number 6, the Governor of Rivers State, Sir Fubara, shall represent the state's budget to a properly constituted Rivers State House of Assembly. Of course, you heard that. That would mean the one led by Right Honorable Martin Amehule. Number 7, all the names of all commissioners in Rivers State Executive Council who resigned their appointments because of the political crisis in the state should be resubmitted to the House of Assembly for approval. And number 8, there should not be a caretaker committee for the local governments in Rivers State. The dissolution of the local government administration is null and void and shall not be recognized. Quite interesting. Permit me to say, however, that there are or there have been insinuations from some quarters in Rivers State, within Rivers State, that the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, did not sign that said document. We're still trying to find out how true those insinuations are. Also, we're hearing that, another one I've heard is that, he signed. However, he didn't sign it with a red pen. He signed it with a black pen, so it doesn't stand. But I do not know if the color of the pen he used to sign such a document really matters. I want us to introduce our guest tonight. Our first guest tonight happens to be an elder statesman, you can call him that, in Rivers State, a former governorship candidate. Precious Elekima joins us via video link. Sir, you're welcome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Good to hear from you tonight. What's your initial reaction to that outcome? After the meeting held behind closed doors last night with Mr. President, are you happy as a Rivers, not just a Rivers indigent, but an elder statesman who has been in Rivers politics for years, that peace may be finally returning to the polity of your darling Rivers State?
You see, sometimes people act drama without properly writing the script. First of all, if you look at the heading of that document, says directives. Says that It says directive for the reconciliation. So when they say directives, so going by that word directives, which means that it's not an agreement. People can argue that even without writing, signing papers, people can have MOUs, can have agreement. But this matter, they had written a paper, and they have written on top of the paper, they said directives. Directives. So if it is directives to go on, maybe in a future date or tomorrow or next tomorrow, so looking at it on its face value is of no value right now. Because what it says is that directives. Says directives for resolution. What I don't know is if the president has the powers to issue directives. Because Obasanjo did not have powers to issue directives against him in Lagos. And he went up to the Supreme Court. So I wonder how he can issue directives. Secondly, there are constitutional issues. Can he override the Constitution? Can he override the Constitution? To say, bring back House of Assembly members that have lost their seats, can he do that? Because by 15th, INEC has already received. So how do you recall it? So there are things he cannot go into. You know, the Constitution was created to prevent men from usurping, shaping it their own way. The president has wished that he had the powers. So when he doesn't have the powers.
Okay.
So those matters have already been decided that those seats are vacant.
All right.
The other part of it is resubmission of the budget. How? Signed into law? It can only be repealed. Say, okay, they have repealed the law, but the thing has been signed into law. It was signed into law pursuant to the vacancy of the 27 seats or 25 seats, and then the remaining people were now well constituted, and they approved the budget. So the president, unfortunately, lacks those powers. I do not know what happened to his legal department, that they could write directives and turn it to be an agreement.
Okay, Precious Elekima, thank you so much. I want to bring it at this point, Lolo Isaiah Opoende, who is a Rivers State lawmaker. He represents Akukutoro State Constituency 2 at the Rivers State House of Assembly, one of the 25 or 27 who decamped from the PDP to the APC. Honorable, we were meant to have you last night, but you got into this meeting with Mr. President and you excused yourself from our program. Good to have you tonight. And please tell us more about the meeting that held with Mr. President last night.
Thank you very much, Kofi Battles. And Kofi Battles, I hope you're hearing me clearly.
Yes, Honorable, we can hear you clearly. We want you to sit back into your chair a bit, just relaxing your chair so we can see better. Okay, please go on.
Now, there are issues that were properly addressed by Mr. President. And I believe Mr. President, and it was clear to us that Mr. President is very intelligent. And he handled the matter in a very concise manner. He was very apt in his speech. First of all, he openly told the governor that you assaulted democracy. These are not things we are supposed to say on media, but it was a closed-door meeting. He said, you assaulted democracy. And as such, by his left-hand side, third was Governor Odele, whom he gave the resolution for the peace, the reconciliation resolution he came with, to read out. In fact, the president went as far as giving us his personal experience when he was the governor of Lagos State. He told us how someone became the speaker, and the next tenor, they came up with their financial autonomy. He gave them the financial autonomy. He signed the bill into law and allowed them to operate. To the glory of God, that speaker today is in his 6th term. So, what are we talking? Mr. President, wade into this matter. The same people who are crying that Mr. President should handle this matter, Mr. President should handle this matter, are the same people now saying that Mr. President cannot decide on this particular matter. If this matter is left for the assembly and the governor alone, it won't be an easy battle. To God be the glory. Mr. President did very well, giving us a verdict on his own.
Okay. Honorable, we hear that there are denials that Governor Sim Fubara signed that document. In fact, an insider in River State, where I lived and worked for many years, also home to me, like both of you know, an insider said the governor didn't sign that document. Another one I heard just before I came on air is another school of thought says the governor signed it, but he didn't sign it with a red biro or red pen. He used a black pen, so in effect, he didn't sign it. Did Governor Sim Fubara sign that agreement?
Yes, he signed. He signed that document. And in a peace reconciliation meeting, pen is immaterial. The color of pen you use is immaterial. Yes, actually, constitutionally, the governor is supposed to sign with a green pen. But at that material time, if he's not with the green pen, he can sign with any pen that is available. And Mr. President was very emphatic about the signing of that document. In fact, personally, I signed my own column too.
Okay. So some people say his signature was on the attendance list or attendance register, and it was copied or doctored to be placed on that agreement. That he didn't sign the document; he only signed the attendance list. Is there any truth to that, as far as you can tell?
There was no attendance list for us to sign. The only list that was displayed was when we were coming in. The SSS have to screen you properly before going in.
Yes.
So that they can separate uninvited guests from the invited ones. So they have to call your name one by one, which was done. Apart from that, there was no paper circulated within that hall for us to sign as an attendant. No. Even Chief Adokie Amiesmaka, who spoke in that meeting, did not sign anything because nobody was privileged to sign anything except those of them who are directly involved in the battle, which is the assembly members and the governor who signed. Okay. And those of them who have been supporting them as witnesses that signed. That was all. Okay. Nothing more.
I can concur that if you go into the villa, of course, the point where you have to go through the screening or the scanning machine, they would have a list already prepared, and they would even issue you a temporary paper ID tag with your face on it and all that. Chief Elekima, what do you say to this? That what honorable member of the River State House of Assembly has said is that the president, told the governor of River State that he attacked democracy, in other words. I'm sure I believe he's referring to the destruction of the State House of Assembly, amongst other acts. Do you see the Governor Sim Fubara's acts as being damaging to democracy in Nigeria?
Look where we are now, where we are. I said the paper they are brandishing as being agreement, MOU, or whatever, reads directives for the resolution of the political impasse in River State. So how do you now convert directives, assuming that it was true or it was not true. How do you convert it to be an MOU? They said they had given them directions to go and resolve. So I think that the presidency are rich enough in knowledge to put up something proper. But the issue is that they, going by what they have done, how do you undo constitutional issues like representing budget? Recalling back 25 members that have left, now known to law that there are no more members. How do you do that? You can't do such things. So there are certain things that maybe the president, maybe as a human being, he forgot that it was beyond him. These matters are beyond them. It is the constitution that made them anything they are. Made him president, made the other one governor. It is beyond Fubara. It is beyond any of them that have been in that meeting. Where they are is that 25 members have left office as members of House of Assembly. Budgets had been presented, signed into law. So the president, 30 presidents, 200 presidents cannot do anything.
But Chief Elekima,
200%.
Several persons, including elder statesmen like yourself, the Rivers Elders Forum, in fact, yesterday, called on Mr. President to intervene into this matter to prevent Governor Fubara's impending impeachment. Isn't this what, has happened?
You know, let me tell you, there are certain things you cannot go into. You can sit down and talk to people, how do we make peace? But you can't give directives. Recall back 25 members. It's not the constitution. Go and represent budget. He is not the constitution. These things are beyond him. And what I'm telling you is that if politicians try to usurp the constitution and think that they can swap it the way they like, then there will be anarchy. As far as I am concerned, and I know what the law is that we have 25 seats in assembly vacant in Rivers State. We also know that the budget of Rivers State has been passed. And Fubara is not a creation of anything.
We'll come to that. But Precious Lekima, the president has consistently been called on to intervene. Mr. President, we keep hearing it. And even only yesterday, the Rivers Elders Forum, led by former Governor Rufus Ada-George, whom you and I discussed on this program, read a communique signed by all of them, saying, Mr. President, please intervene in this matter so that we won't have...
Let me tell you, there are some resolutions that cause more problems. They said there was an Abuja resolution. Abuja created the civil war. You have the Israeli-Palestinian agreements. They keep causing more wars. You have Ukraine-Russian wars agreements. They keep causing more wars. So you cannot bring an unjust thing to say that, oh, this thing had been done, so it's an agreement. It's going to cause more wars. What do you do with the Constitution now? What do you do with the Constitution? Which of the parties, how many presidents can override the Constitution? How many governors can go and represent the budget? How can he do it? How can he do it?
Okay, all right.
There are things that cannot be done now.
I'm sure the song that... Precious Lekima.
Cannot.
I'm sure the song that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike will be singing is agreement is agreement. But Honorable Opuele Isaiah, what do you say to what...
matter to me, because he never keeps to any agreement. Which only keeps the agreement that will favor him. These are governments we created. He doesn't keep the agreement. As far as he's concerned, he's a clever man. So we leave him, let him do what he's doing. But what I'm telling you is that in this matter is beyond President Tinubu, it is beyond Wike, it is beyond Fubara, it's beyond all of them.
Okay, Precious Lekima, let me bring up when Lolo Isaiah in. Do you remember you were trying to respond to what our elder statesman is saying? So please go on.
Work with you closely, and I understand the area you're driving to, But certain things have to be cleared here. Yes, can you, out of 32 members, or let's assume 31 members because one died, present budget to 4 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and see that as a legit presentation? No. When you talk about the Constitution, Section 96 of the 1999 Constitution as amended clearly states that a quorum of a house, a sitting house, will be 1/3 members. So if you cannot get a 1/3 member, it means whatever thing you are doing is just a kangaroo. It's just a committee of friends sitting. You don't expect to put something on nothing and expect it to stand. And that's why Mr. President, in his wisdom, ordered that the budget, the appropriation bill, be reissued, brought before the rightful assembly, the 27 members.
But you heard that the President Lekima say that this will be a constitutional, should I call it aberration, because the bill has already been signed into law.
Look,
you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. Anything done on illegality will amount to nullity.
They leave. They let
anything done on illegality will amount to nullity. Because you must follow the law. You are breaking the law at this point.
To go and join APC.
Chief,
they took the risk of it.
Chief, excuse me.
They've gone.
Chief, excuse me. You must follow the law in doing the things so that you can get it right.
Absolutely.
They said a quorum of assembly, a well-constituted assembly of 32 members, a quorum should be 11 members at least. Now, where you cannot get 11 members, it means whatever thing you are doing is illegal.
Let me ask you.
And once it is illegal, it will amount to nullity.
APC, were you thinking you are going to retain your seat when you resign from the PDP to go to APC? Didn't you know the risk involved?
The Constitution clearly states that when there is problem in the party, I have the right as an individual to decamp to wherever I so wish. So now, at this point, you're talking about we losing our seat.
So you now
automatically
have a judicial.
It's wrong.
You
follow the law.
The executive has no business now.
Section 109 sub 1
the legislature.
Okay, Honorable Lolo Isaiah, let's allow Precious Lekima to respond, because you're saying that the Constitution allows you, if there's a division in your party or a merger, to decamp. Precious Lekima, what's your response to that?
Hello?
Yeah, Precious Lekima, can you hear me, please?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, please go on, sir. Please go on.
Look, these 25 members, nobody invited them, nobody chased them. They elected and resigned from the PDP to go to APC. Okay, so they claim that there was division in PDP. It is for them to prove to the court that there was division in the PDP. But as far as as we are speaking today, they are not members of the House again. They are no more members of the House of Assembly. And Mr. President, 30 of Mr. President cannot bring them back. It's a constitutional matter. 30 of it. 1 million Governor Fubara cannot bring them back. He cannot bring them back. So there are 25 members who are gone. And then the budget had been signed to law. So, everybody in Nigeria wants to be executive, judiciary, and legislative arm. They cannot be that. So, as far as I am concerned, and I know that what the law says is that there are no more 25 members of the House of Assembly in Rivers State. Fubara can't do anything. Tinubu cannot do anything. Wike can't do anything. Nobody can do anything.
Okay.
It's a constitutional matter. And so when the young man says the president ordered, he can't order. He can only order in his office, but not into judiciary matter not into legislative matters.
Okay. Professor Lekima, thank you. Honorable Lolo Isaiah Opwende, what do you say to what he said? Particularly the fact that he's saying that the president does not have the constitutional locus standi to issue any directive to a state government or a state legislature. Was this a directive? Was it an agreement that is sat down and then they wrote down resolutions? Okay, we hereby agree, because the word used on that statement, though it's been denied in some quarters, was directive.
The president, in his wisdom, asked openly that if there is any objection, state it clearly. If you have any objection, in fact, he directed this question to Governor Fubara, asking him, if you have any objection, state it clearly. He asked the entire people seated there, the entire Rivers elders seated there, if you have any objection, please state it clearly. And Fubara responded to him, who am I to say no? As you've so stated, I shall do as you've directed. That was all, for the interest of peace. Even in his speech today, when he went to that university, what they call Pamo University, he said there is no amount of sacrifice that is too much for peace. So I don't know where our elders are driving to. Elders who are supposed to be preaching peace are the ones creating the crisis. I expected elders like this to preach peace, speak to the governor and tell him that, look, thank you for accepting every terms that was given there. No, let's talk about the constitutional issue. He said 25 members who defected, 27 members defected. Let me correct you, sir. 27 members defected. And none of us have any regret whatsoever to the action we've taken so far. In fact, in the meeting, Adoke Amiesmaka raised the issue of we coming back to PDP. And Mr. President, in his wisdom, told him that they have crossed the Red Sea. There is no going back to Egypt.
Okay.
That was the language he used.
Okay. Interesting.
He said, they have crossed the Red Sea. In fact, I'm expecting more babies to come over. So, what are we talking?
All right. For those who are just tuning in, still Politics HQ, we have a River State elder statesman, former governorship candidate in River State, Chief Precious Lekima. We have Honorable Lolo Isaiah Opwende, who is a lawmaker in the River State House of Assembly, one of the 27 MPs. He represents the good people of our Kokotoro constituency too. Chief Lekima, it could be argued that this is a situation, of no victor and no vanquished, because the governor gets to dodge the bullet of impeachment, whilst the House of Assembly members whose seats were declared vacant get to keep their seats.
We can't go on this way in Nigeria. Constitution was created to change hands of man. To change hands of man. That is why Constitution was created. So if the 25 decided to leave, they had left. They have crossed the Red Sea. So when you have crossed the Red Sea, remain in Egypt. Leave off.
But Chief Lekima, compromise is the name of the game in politics. You're a politician. Yendeba, like they say.
Yes.
So isn't this a case of no victor, no vanquished? That's Fubara dodges any bullet of impeachment.
Let me tell you, the only thing that makes the president more important than you is the Constitution. The only thing that gives anybody any power is the Constitution. That book, nobody can usurp it. As soon as you have fallen out of it, you are falling out of it. The Constitution is supreme. The young men have left. They have crossed the Red Sea. They are now in Egypt. They shouldn't look back at Israel. And then they should prepare. And then the other 4 members or 5 members or 6 who did not cross the Red Sea are there to carry out the functions on the by-elections are conducted. For the budget, 30 million president cannot reorder. I wonder how the president can say, I order you, I do this, I do that. And President Obasanjo could not order him to do anything when he was in Lagos. Can we take it from anybody ordering him to do something? So let's be fair. But unfortunately, I'm not commenting on so many things, but I'm just telling you that the 25 men have left. Fubara, 1 million of Fubara does not have that right. It is beyond him. It's beyond him.
Okay. Honorable, you've been told that you are the promised land, so you should remain there. I don't know if you you agree with that, but what do you say to the question I asked Chief Elekima, that this is an agreement which is a compromise? One person gets something, the other person gets something.
He's always referencing the Constitution. Whatever thing he says, he references the Constitution. Even in the Constitution, even in a court proceeding, there is an ADR. They call it Alternative Dispute Resolution. And in an alternative dispute resolution, it means it is no longer in the court again. They have an alternative way of settling matter. So if Mr. President wade into a matter to say, this is how I want it to be, who is who in this country? The president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces have spoken. And I don't think anyone have any question to ask at this point. What we need to do is to implement what he has said. And it's a pity, as an elder statesman, I've worked closely with him, and I don't think this what is coming out, emanating from him, is worth reasoning.
Honorable Opwende, the River State House of Assembly, as led by Edison Ehe, your former majority leader, has already written 2 letters to the Independent National Electoral Commission. One, to inform them, that's INEC chairman, that some members of the parliament, the legislature, the House of Assembly, have moved from the PDP to the APC, including you. And secondly, that your seats, including your seat, have been declared vacant. So this letter is already in the possession of INEC. And INEC has announced that they will be conducting by-elections and I don't know if it's supplementary elections or elections in February 2024. Maybe the ones in River State, maybe part of those elections in February 2024, which is just 2 months away. What should INEC do now that this resolution or these directives have been released and agreed to, signed by the personnel involved in this whole matter? Except Edison Ehe, who was not at that meeting. What should INEC do?
He was in that meeting. Edison Ehe was in that meeting.
Oh, I see.
He was in that meeting. And whatever anyone wants to, whoever wants to interpret it, our seats remain intact. Defection did not start from us, and it will end from us. So defection doesn't mean you've declared your seat vacant. It is only a court of competent jurisdiction that can expressly state that we have been removed from our seats, and at that point, INEC has the right to conduct another election.
What will you and your comrades, the 27 of you, like you said, do if tomorrow Governor Fubara says he didn't sign any agreement?
That is left for him and Mr. President. That is left for him and Mr. President, because we are public servants. We are public servants. And whatever thing you do is on the public forum for people to know that, yes, after agreeing, you come back again and do a different thing altogether. It is left for him and Mr. President at that point.
All right. All right. Thank you. Chief Precious Lekima, your final words, very briefly, please.
Unfortunately, we are mixing up issues. Mr. President, Governor Fubara, they have no powers in these cases we're discussing. There is nothing like alternative dispute resolution. The Constitution is very clear. And they said nobody can twist it. Nobody can twist it. So it's the Constitution, it's not law. It's not judiciary now. It has clearly defined it. So unfortunately, they are my friends. Okwenda is my brother. He fell into this problem. But Constitution is supreme.
All right.
Mr. President
all right.
cannot do it.
Okay, let me explain something something paramount to him. You know,
gentlemen, we have to go. We definitely will call you back for further discussion. That's it for now, right now on Politics HQ.
Is nullity.
We'll be right back to have more discussions. Please stay with us.